Well, all I had to do was one thing, and that was to dollar cost average into two stocks from January till August with the goal of taking my family to Disney. But guess what? We did it. We got there, right? January 18th, I put out the 401k play challenge where we were dollar cost averaging into one to two growth stocks or whatever stock you so choose or chose to do. I know some of you guys got into it, but the purpose of it was for us to put money aside that we can use for something fun for us and or our families, right? Do something nice for us. Why? Because we pay too much tuition in this market for us not to do something or reward ourselves for doing what many people aren't doing, right? Or trying to do. So, even if you're not a profitable trader, even if you just haven't made it yet, right? You know you put the time in, you're grinding, you're better than you were yesterday, and I think you deserve that time, that fun, that reward to yourself for taking the steps forward, not giving up, right? In yourself as you go on this journey. It's not easy, but that was the purpose of the 401k play, right? 401ks, you save for retirement. 401k play, we use it for fun, right? So I'm going to talk about Disney, right? My experiences at Disney World, what I seen firsthand, and how it relates to some of the concerns that are out there right now surrounding attendance, employee strikes, customer service, cost, and the overall expense of it, and then the intellectual properties, right? So we're going to get into that, and of course, we're going to talk about some plays. Let's get into it. What's up, everybody? It's Stocks for Real. So let's get into Disney. All right, I'm going to give you a little bit of roadmap as far as how, like, where we were when it comes with the 401k play, and then where we are and where I think Disney is headed overall. Okay, um, so before I start, like, just know that I have not been too present on the YouTube, and that's mainly because before Disney, leading up to that, I was really stressed out, right? And then I got to enjoy time with my family at Disney, and then we got back, and there was just a lot like that still needed to be done. Work is crazy, life is crazy. Ultimately, it is what it is. Your boy needs to step back, take a mental break, reset, recalibrate, all that stuff. Um, it's all about balance, and my balance was off, right? So I am close to being back, but I'm back enough to make this video and start this grind here on social media a little bit and just communicate with the community, right? So that being said, let's talk about a couple things. So one, I put out on I think a week ago, right? The option play that I was thinking for the Minnows, the Dolphins, the Orcas, right? So I put this out on Instagram. I also think I recorded it and put it on YouTube. Hopefully y'all seen it. I called the Disney fall to 86.85, if I'm not mistaken, that's what it was. 86, 85, 87, something like that, right? And sure enough, we fell down to that target and then we rocketed back up. So I stated that I was going to dollar cost average into Disney all the way down to $87. And then there was a target that I gave that I was going to kick myself out or stop myself out if it fell, like, show weakness below that level. Okay. So I think I'm 8 contracts in. I followed the play for the minnows. Anyway, I'll get into that probably in another video because this one might be a little long and I just don't want to do that. Okay, so if you can see that, screenshot it, do whatever you got to do. Um, and take a look at my previous Disney videos so you can check out the levels because it does go over the levels of where we are now. Okay, so anyway, so we did that option play, but what I wanted to say is give you a quick rundown as far as the 401k play challenge that I put out in January. Okay, in this challenge, I and the community were to choose 1 to 2 stocks that we would dollar cost average into on a daily basis. So the concept was for every member of your family, you could have used whatever dollar amount you wanted, but for every member of your family, they all pitch in $1, or you just mentally count for $1 per person, and then in your savings, right, you would match that dollar amount. So that's your 401k, right? So we have a family of 4. I rounded it up to 5, and then I matched that $5 with another $5 from the savings that we put into our savings account um, on a biweekly basis. So that's what we did. Okay. I ended up choosing 2 stocks. I chose SoFi and I chose Disney. Okay. I did that since January 18th, and I think I stopped it July. I think it was around June or July. Okay. Um, anyway, that was the deal. And then the purpose of it was for us to use some of the money or all of the money to do something fun for ourselves or for our families. And the reason why I came up with this challenge was because I know as a trader that's still not profitable, I've not made up for the years of losses I've um, I've accumulated. So I'm on that S curve. I'm on my way, but I still haven't broken even yet. Working towards it. I'm gonna do it. But ultimately, I identify that I've done a lot of depositing and not enough withdrawing, right? I've done challenges in the past, but all those challenges, all that money was just put towards investments, right? I didn't really take anything out to do anything nice for myself. And if I did, it was very, very small, right? Maybe to pay for a subscription with anything dealing with investments. Um, but that's what it was for. So I did the 401k play because we need to take something and do something for ourselves. And that's why it's the 401k play and not just the 401k. That's you investing into yourself and your well-being. So if you took advantage, if you were on that journey with me, great. You likely know that we crushed it time and time and time again, hitting 600% gains, 300% gains, you name it. We just crushed it. So hopefully you were on that journey with me. And if you weren't, it's okay. You probably still been eating, you know, still putting content out. So all good. I might bring it back because next trip is Vegas, baby. Let's do it. All right. So, but ultimately, all that led to the family going to Disney. We finally did it. And I felt it was such a proud moment as a father. Um, and we're a single family income for me to be able to do what I did and just to get the joy and just the excitement and from my family was just it was amazing. And I've never talked about it, so sorry. Like it's still unbelievable that I was able to do that. So um, very happy moment for me. The my girls' first time on a plane, first time on a lot of things, traveling that far. Um, it was just a whole vibe, right? So I'm very blessed and very thankful because during that time at Disney, I had low expectations. Like I was really thinking that like this is a lot of money. Like no way it's worth it. Like but whatever, we're gonna do it, right? And there was moments that just hit me as a father, that you just appreciate and you just soak it in, and then you live for that moment, like a moment, like where I see my daughter on my shoulders, because my wife took a picture, and as we're watching the fireworks, she had just the most blissful look in her eyes, like the glee. I've never seen it like that, and that hit me. That moment alone paid for it, right? Anyway, goosebumps. Awesome. So, we went to Disney, and a couple of concerns, right? I want to cover some of the concerns surrounding Disney and why, the stock is down, and then where I think the stock is going. So, one of the concerns with Disney was the attendance, park attendance. Everybody's saying, well, park attendance is down, or it's pretty level, it's not really growing, what have you. And I totally understand that. Um, Mind you, my family went in August, which is the hottest time to go, and it's also like the least what do you call it? Like the least populated. So it's not as busy in August because it's the heat, right? Um, so we did that intentionally because we have plans coming up. Wife's starting a business, um, and we just had to get a lot of things kind of dialed in before like the fall when it would have been ideal to go. So we just buckled down, ordered like some fans, and just did what we had to do. Um, but ultimately, it still was busy. Like it was busy. Disney has an app that allows you to see wait times for rides, and most of the parks average wait time was anywhere between 40 and 50 minutes. Now, from what I understand, that's really good for Disney. I didn't like it, but it wasn't so bad. They had things that you can do, things that kind of kept you engaged and entertained, and then there's something that you can monitor, and then kind of like circle back to if the line died down or whatever. So it was pretty good. Um, so not, yeah, not so bad. I think that out of all four parks, there was only two parks that I would deem as crowded, and just extremely busy. Magic Kingdom is number one, and then number two would have been Hollywood Studios. Okay, um, so Magic Kingdom was actually like our worst experience. I will tell you, if you're going to Disney, plan for 2 days at Magic Kingdom because one day isn't enough. You really need to kind of get a lay of the lands and understand how you're going to move in order to make the best of it. So I can understand why some families, especially those that got it like that, go multiple times because there's no way you're going to get to everything at Disney. So Magic Kingdom was we didn't get on a lot of rides. It was really crowded. It's probably like our most frustrating day at Disney, and I'm so happy we didn't start there. That was our day three. If you're never gone to Disney before, do not start with Magic Kingdom. Either wait for it after, make that your third park or your last park, and then plan for 2 days. Just a tip. Anyway, um, so crowd size. Again, the attendance. I didn't think it was lacking. So there was a lot of people there, um, and I can only imagine how busy it got during normal times. So yeah, I don't think that that's a problem. So anyway, customer service, right? So essentially, everybody at Disney, when I tell you, one, the characters don't break character. The puppets or whatever, the mascots, whatever, like people that are dressed up like that, they don't talk, but like like the people like Moana and um, all the other characters that are just people, they can have a conversation with the kids or whatever, but You're awesome. Now, outside of those that's your job to make kids happy, the staff, like the on park staff, just to start, absolutely amazing. Disney is the first place I've ever been where you didn't feel like a burden if you approached a staff member about a question, no matter how dumb or how uh, extravagant the question was, right? These people never got frustrated. I never seen a twitch of any type of like boiling over. Like there's no level of frustration shown on any staffer at Disney. And I'll give you an example, right? We got to, I want to say day two, and we wanted to use a lightning lane, right? We hadn't bought those. We were just fine waiting 35 to 45 minutes in the line. But it was Animal Kingdom, I want to say, where we had a really good time on a couple rides, and we wanted to get to rides faster, right? So we said, you know what? Screw it. Let's just do it. We saved on this. Let's ball out. No questions. So we buy the Lightning Pass, and so we buy this Lightning Pass, and then so we get in line, and there's a line in a Lightning Lane, but that's fine. But we get in line, and we're about to get on our ride. We just scanned in, right? And then they shut it down. Once you scan in your Lightning Lane pass, like it's used. There's no refunds. You can't use it again. So I've seen like 8 to 10 people come and talk to this one staff guy that scanned them in and asked the same question and then just stood there in frustration, like they don't know what to do. And their only choice that he had given them was they either stayed in line until the ride was back open or they kind of lose their pass because that's all he knows, right? But not one time did that guy break. Like I would have been like so frustrated. I would have yelled to the whole line and gave the dang speech, right? Instead of telling everybody in a nice, cool, calm demeanor. Like that's just one example, but everybody's happy. Everybody's attentive. And let's look at our hotel and just I'm trying to be kind of brief and quick, but give you guys just a scope of what the experience was. Um, we typically don't have housekeeping touch our rooms until after like never. Like we just don't want people in there. But we were kind of busy. We're at the parks. We don't have time to kind of stick around and like kind of straighten up. And we got a family of four in one room, so we was like, yeah, we're missing towels, and things are just a little messy. So we got a lot of trash. We didn't know where to take it. There was no trash bins or whatever. So we said we order room service or housekeeping, um, and schedule them to come over. We're going, and we come back. This room was like we just got back in. Like we just made it to the park and just made it to our rooms, right? But not only that, like she did like extra things, like turned the towels into monkeys, like and then just had them hanging around in the bathroom, and then propped up our girls' stuffed animals in like a certain like cool like fun way. Like it was like the details that they had, which was next level. From I just can't even tell you. Absolutely amazing. Okay. So customer service, hand down, 100% top notch. Can't be touched. Probably the best I've ever seen. Employees, as far as that strike stuff that was going on, not a problem at Disney World. I think that was Cali, but I don't. It did not transition to the world. Okay. So that being said, um, let's go into the expenses. Okay. So Disney cost me just north of $11,000. Okay, that's a lot of money. But the average cost for a family of four, I want to say that can go to Disney for uh, 5 nights is about 8 grand, 6 to 8 grand on average, right? The cheapest you can go to Disney, I want to say, and this includes your food and all that stuff, would be around the 4.5 to $5,000 range. Then you have a midpoint of about 6 grand, 6 to 8 grand, and then you have like your top tier level, and that starts at about 10 grand and can go north of about 12. Okay, so um, to do that, like that expense, like that's just staying at like the nicest, one of the nicer hotels or resorts. That's like paying for the dining plan. That's your photo maker. Like that's just like all the bells and whistles, like to which you don't have to worry about a single thing when you're there. Okay, that's kind of what my goal was. Um, so you pay for Disney, but um, you get there and there's all these other things that you're gonna buy, right? Merchandise and food if you want snacks or whatever, extra stuff, whatever. So when I tell you that people were buying everything, I, I don't even know how they get away with it. The Mickey Mouse ears, those are next level now. They have it for all types of characters, or whatever, and they are anywhere between $38 to $48, I want to say. If you're on resort, it's about 30s to 40s, right? If you're off resort and on at a park, then likely it's themed, more themed, and then it's gonna cost you almost $50 for a pair of ears. Same thing goes with the magic bands. Now, mind you, the magic bands that you see at Disney, I want to say back in 2017, those used to be free. They used to give those to customers, to guests, so they can check in and check out and unlock your rooms and then do all the things that you can do. Like it's pretty much like your wallet on your wrist, which is pretty cool. It just does a lot. So, but they have now started charging for them. I think they're anywhere between $20 for like the least expensive to about $40 to the most expensive. And the only difference, whatever, it doesn't matter. You got magic bands, you got magic band pluses, and essentially people are buying them, right? Everybody at the park pretty much had a dang magic band. They are making money hand over fist is pretty much where I'm getting at. Now, the picture that you see, that picture right there, that is Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. That is one of the hardest places to get into. Why? Because every parent that comes to Magic Kingdom and Disney is scheduling their kid to get a princess treatment. I didn't think it was that crazy popular. I figured it was popular, but when I tell you I had to wake up at 4 a.m. and then just refresh pages to see if I can get my kids in, luckily enough, I did. But it's crazy. They fill up fast, like instantly booked. And this place is booked and they're charging up. You know what? The prices are crazy. Okay, so the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, at minimum, I think is $100, and that's the Prince Night thing where I mean, there's no costumes. I don't even know what they do. Like it's just like it's a real basic package that you won't see almost anybody buying. Then they have a deluxe, and then they have this a higher tier. Okay, I forgot what that tier is called, but anyway, the deluxe is about $230 per kid. Okay, and then the one next up is $450 per kid. Per kid. When I tell you how many little princesses that I've seen around that park that I know got the $450 package, insane. When I say that Disney is making money hand over fist, insane. $450 for for a fairy godmother, right? to give your little girl the princess treatment. You get a dress. They get to pick out the dress. You get like a wand or whatever, something like a crown. You get the whole nine, right? You get your nails done, you get your makeup done, they do your hair. It's a whole thing, right? And it's awesome to see your baby girl literally get transformed into the princess they want to be. It's so cool. As a dad, like I was in there dabbing dads, like fist pumping dads, just because like when you lock eyes with a dad inside that place, like you you both know that like you did something good, right? Or it just felt right, you know. You can be proud to have been able to do such a thing for your kid, right? And you're paying $300, $450 plus tax, so $500 for some people for that feeling that you get when their little faces light up, when they feel so special, right? And it was worth every penny. $250 a kid, worth every penny. Will we do it again? Absolutely not. But we had the memory, right? We did it. Okay. So the cost of Disney is insane. And if you do your research, you know that they're making billions of dollars at this park on an annual basis. Like 32 billion, I want to say a third of the revenue of Disney comes from their parks, right? So it's insane. Anyway, so merchandise that cover that. The boutique cover that. We're up 16%. They were up 16% year over year for the 2023 Q4 earnings over 2022, and I guarantee you. So they were up 16% year over year from 2023 to 2022. I would not be surprised if Disney hits about 23% over 2023 by the end of 2024. Um, I just see it. I just see it. Anyway, so the last thing is the intellectual properties. Okay, so that is your Star Wars. Um, that is your Pandora's. That is Toy Story Land. That is all of the um, all of the intellectual properties that they own under the Disney umbrella. Okay, when I tell you that the attention to detail, it's so crazy. Like I walked into Pandora. I can't point. Yeah. Yep. Whatever. I can't point. You see it. I walked into Pandora and that zone or whatever, and I couldn't believe it. Like stunning. Like it was. It looked so detailed. Literally, it looked like floating rocks. Like, and you just wonder how they do it. How they do it. You go to Star Wars and you literally feel like you're on a set of a movie. You go into these establishments and my mind was just blown. It just every stone was turned. Like they covered every little detail. Mine was blown. Never seen anything like that, and that was pretty cool. So to top that all off, right? Um, with the intellectual properties, um, I keep telling everybody about the moat surrounding Disney and all of the everything that they own. But a big deal is going to be the new park that they're building. Okay. if I'm not mistaken, this was about a $70 billion like investment um for their parks and rec, cruise lines, whatever. Um, but part of that money is going to go towards the Marvel Infinite Kingdom. Marvel is going to have their very own park. So, like you have Animal Kingdom, like you have Magic Kingdom, like you have Epcot, like you have Hollywood Studios. Marvel is going to have their own park, and within that park, they're going to have various sections of that park, right? My light went off. Okay. Um, so you're going to have various lands within the park. So you'll have like Wakanda Forever. You'll have Avengers headquarters. You'll have Asgard. Um, like just imagine what those worlds look like. Like you see the movies. Imagine walking into an Asgardian environment, right? Just watch the movies because that's exactly what it's gonna look like. After seeing Avatar or Pandora, they can do anything. So I'm excited. Now this isn't gonna happen for several years, and I'm gonna be probably pushing 50. I don't know. Let's see. I'm 37 now. I suspect that the price will be done by the time I'm about 43 to 45. I don't know. But guess who's going to be a kid again when that gets released? This guy, because I'm going back. If I'm a huge Marvel fan, so I can't wait. Anyway, I'm pumped for the future. So they're gonna have all of those lands. On top of that, they'll have the character meet and greet, so you get the rides and experiences. You get to meet the heroes, right? You get they're going to start doing this advanced tech with special effects to keep their customers immersed. So you're going to feel like whatever Marvel land that you're in, like you're in Wakanda, you're going to feel like you're in Wakanda. You're going to feel like you're on that movie set or like you're in a live environment. Okay, because that's just going to attract a whole new wave of customers, right? So I do want to speak to one thing, and it's not on my agenda, but there was a reports being put out about like how expensive Disney is, and pretty much the American families are being priced out, essentially. Um, the middle class, like the low middle class, average American, can't go to Disney. Why? Because it costs an arm and a leg. It's not just the park, right? You have to worry about traveling. You got insurance, you name it, right? There's a lot of stuff that goes into the like even getting to Disney, getting to and from Disney. Um, and that's one of their biggest like the biggest concerns is probably for some analysts as well. Um, but ultimately, even with a reduction of um, or a steadiness of guests, Disney has hiked up prices and people are paying, right? A Disney Park Pass in 2017, if not mistaken, was about maybe $128 or something like that, right? For I think a hopper. Now you're over $500 for something like that. That's crazy. Well, it was $500. I want to say for four days, right? So there is there is a huge difference. There's a huge difference in what that amount is. So look it up. I had the numbers. I'm sorry I don't have it in front of me exactly, but I just know it's gone up substantially. Okay. Um, but anyway, that's my take on Disney. Ultimately, after being a long-term Disney investor, right? I am more bought in now than ever since going to Disney parks. Now, I got into Disney when it was $83, and I've been dollar cost averaging into the stock, and that was during the pandemic. Okay. Since then, we went all the way up to $123, I want to say. And no way I would have guessed that we'd be back down into the 80s. I think we fell all the way down to about 86. Never would have guessed it, especially as we are in a growing economy. Even though we have inflation and then the recession concerns and stuff like that, the market is on a rocket, right? So for Disney to be down in the 80s is insane to me. I see it as a huge discount. And the reason for that is because if you look at the price targets by the analysts, on the low for Disney, it's $94, right? The low is $94. We are at $89 today, right? So I've been pushing Disney for a minute. I think it's a sleeping giant. I think it's one of the stocks that hadn't recovered from the pandemic drop. Okay, now of course there's issues with being woke and the whole Snow White thing and the Little Mermaid thing and all this other crap. Um, that's like turning off some of the consumers, right? Which of course any bad news with any company, right, brings it down. So there's been a lot of suppression of the stock. Now, why am I not worried about it? Well, because institutions own, I want to say, 63% of this company. Retail investors own about 36 or 37%. Insiders own about 8%, if I'm not mistaken. So I feel like Disney is about to take off. So, that being said, I put out the levels. I'm gonna have to give you revisions of the levels because we are now beyond the $86 range. Now we're about to crack 90. I do believe that Disney is about to um, head back to over 100. So first target is to take $90. Next target is going to be 93, and then after that we're going to float around 97 in that range. I'm assuming that we should consolidate there for a minute before we break up and out. Now this is the play that I called before Disney broke out initially, right? So Disney was floating anywhere between $93 and $97. That's when I called out to the family, to the community, of leaps or call options, to which we rode Disney up about 300 to 600%. It was a huge play. I've never missed on Disney. Never missed on Disney. And every time I played it, it's been an absolute banger. So I expect the same thing now. This video is too long for me to get into the options plays. However, do stay tuned for options trades with Rel, where I will cover Disney, and I also will cover SoFi and maybe a blue chip stock for the whales. So that being said, this is Stocks for Rel. Thanks for rocking with me. I appreciate all the love and support. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Share this if you think it's helpful for anybody else. And then also to especially you new traders, if you don't have a journal, right? You don't need a fancy journal. Okay. You can just take a pen and paper and you can just start recording your trades. And it's something that even myself, I am getting better at doing. But it's very important that you do track the necessary information so you know where you've made mistakes, but also where you've made big wins. Okay, because that'll help you when in the future when you just become lost. And it happens to the best of us. Okay, um, this is this is mine, right? This is my trading journal that I created Me and my wife, we sat in the kitchen table, and I built a journal based on my how my brain works. And the reason why I made this is because I am a very um, overly detailed individual sometimes. So typically, if I were writing details on my journal about my trading session, I would damn near write a book. And I could do that, but I wouldn't do it consistently. And why? Because it takes too much time, right? Like anything that takes more time than you're willing to do, then you're probably just not going to do it. You're not going to stick to it. So my concept with this book, this journal, was to keep things simple, so you can jot down information quick and then just move on. And it shouldn't take you very long to do it, right? Now, if you want the journal, it's on Amazon. You just search for stocks for rail, and that's in all regions of the world. Stocks number four rail, no spaces. It should pop right up. Um, I am going to be dropping a hardcover that's going to give you about 256 pages. And the reason for that is because that way you have a journal that's going to cover the entirety of a trading year, right? Um, I don't. I make a couple bucks on these books. Okay, like I think it's less than $6, just so you know. Um, and the reason why like I have it priced so low is because I just think that everybody needs one. So why not? And then I did some number crunching, and I realized that for every two books that I've sold, I pretty much have given one away through various contests, like or just drawings, right? So that's just what I'll do, and I'll keep doing it for as long as people are buying the journal. I'll just keep giving journals away because I'm not making no money off of this, and if it helps a trader get started, great. And if this journal, I mean, you try it out and it's not for you, and you want to go to something a little more like detailed and more electronic, then that totally makes sense. I think if you are intermediate to high level trader, or whatever, um, or you've just been doing it for a while and you just need more data, then definitely look at some of these um, online journals, because they're going to give you the charts and the analytics that you need to understand at your level of trading, um, in order for you to progress forward. So that being said, that is what it is. This is Stocks for Real. Take care.